Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and we are here at Holy Temple Church of God in Christ down here in Oxford, North Carolina. And it sounds really familiar because right up the street from here is New Hope, where we did a lot of work down there. So let's get inside. And actually, I'm doing this in reverse because I already was inside. But let's get inside and let's look at everything. And then we're going to talk through what they need to modernize their media ministry. And then, we go from there. And if you were thinking about any type of display or something like here, what would be a size that you would think, and ideally where would you want it to be? Would you want something on that solid back wall? Would you want something hanging from, like I've done it other places where we'll find the rafters here and we'll hang a TV from here on either side. All right, folks, you know how we do. We're going to walk through everything here to help modernize the media ministry. And again, really thankful about this because this is actually down the street from New Hope that we did down here in North Carolina. So let me show you what we're going to do and propose to help them out here. All right, so first, this is their media area. We're going to probably put like a 32 up on the wall, or maybe even a 27, and mount it to the wall to free up some space. We're going to do a new joystick, and they're looking at doing 4 cameras in here. So we're going to do, most likely what I might do is get a rack to get a lot of the stuff out of the way, either put it on this side or most likely on this side. And maybe that's the reason why I didn't throw the rack away. We'll put a rack up here, get this up out of the way to give some more space. Put this up there, and we're going to do a PoE switch. There is internet back here already, so we don't have to worry about that. And what we're going to do is, this is already ran to their existing camera, but we're going to replace that. So what's going to happen is we're going to put a camera in the front, replace that, and then put one on each side. And most likely we're either going to do conduit to run back here to get the cables over here, because they say you can't get into ceiling, but it's just kind of tight since we're going to be all the way in the edge. So conduit or a white cable that runs all the way there is an option. Now I'm leaving it to them for their discretion on what they want to do. If they want to do a confidence monitor, most likely it'll be a 75 back here somewhere, and then in the front either a humongous 85 on that back wall or 2 75s hanging down from the ceiling, something like that, flanking. If you do 2, you could probably do 70s on either side. There's already existing cable running back with their original cameras. So what we're going to do is come back here, and we're going to add some cables back here. So we have some TVs back here that we're going to run a signal to. So they have one right here, one in the pastor's office, and then also one in the conference room right there. And then their overflow, they already have 3 TVs. So what we're going to do is, they already have RG6 going to each one. That's why I looked at these cables. And this is running to all of the TVs. So we just need to find the source that's coming back from the main. So probably that one right there. And we're going to convert all of these to SDI cables. I'm going to do a SDI splitter here, re-terminate all of these, and then put an SDI to HDMI converter on each one of these, so that we'll get the original signal coming back. Because actually, let me change that. Each TV already has an HDMI cable going to it. That's what that white cable is. But it also has a coax. So what we're going to do is find where the HDMI is. That's going to give the main signal back here. Then we're going to re-terminate these, turn this into SDI so that now somebody can hook up a computer, DVD player, whatever here, and then switch the TVs to HDMI number 2. And now that's what's going to send the signal from here for all these TVs back here. Now, the other thing we're going to do is these speakers here, we're going to have to split off of the SDI to feed this. But most likely, they have an amp back here that's powering these two speakers as well. But they said it's not enough power for the speakers inside of the overflow. So we're probably going to pull this down and put another more powerful one in the overflow so that they can use mics in there, and all of the sound is going to hit that. And that's what's going to distribute all the sound to the speakers, give it some more power. And at a press of a button, we can switch over to anything that's connected here. If they have speakers, mics, or whatever, can be done in here. We'll also add a jack so that if they ever decide to live stream in here or whatever, might potentially put an ATEM Mini Pro back here with a camcorder. Or I'll just propose putting the PTZ up here as well too. So the same skills that I use to control this will be exactly the same. And we go from there. So let's go ahead and get back home after a 2.5 hour drive. Let's design everything, and then we'll show you what we do. And if we get the contract, you know I'm gonna bring you along with me and show you how we get all this stuff done. So let's get back on the road and let's get home and let's design a system. Alrighty, folks, we are back. Let's go ahead and get this design work started. All right, so for Holy Temple Church of God in Christ, pretty straightforward with what we're doing, and I'm trying to get myself aligned here on the shot. So let's start with the basics. We don't have to worry about sound. I have to eyeball and look back at the video that I did for the sound mixer so I know what type of cable. Most likely I'll just bring all 3 just in case, but we're going to start with that. That's what we already have. We have the mixer, and we are going to go with I'm really trying to think. I might go with the ATEM Television Studio, the SDI version, just because of some of the existing cables that are already there. Or we could, I want to give myself some flexibility and give them some flexibility that if whatever they do in the sanctuary, they decide to show just scripture or something like that, all of it can be done with the ATEM. So I'll do the ATEM SDI for right now, SDI Extreme. And then that would give us the flexibility of having 4 addressable outs that we can do whatever with that. So we're gonna obviously bring our audio in, and do 4 cameras because they wanted to mimic what we did at New Hope. So let's just put this over here. I'm trying to work out how I can make this more easily adjustable to save space when I'm doing these designs, because I don't need to put these proportionately to where everything is, but maybe I'll do that. Let's put them across here. And then obviously we'll connect these, and since these are going to be SDIs, we don't have to worry about converters for these, because we can just run the cable directly from there to the ATEM. So that saves on the cost. Of course, it doesn't want to So we got it there. So those are cameras, one in the back, one in the front, left and right on the sides. We're gonna do our PoE switch. They already have internet back there, so we don't have to, run cables all over the place like that. So let's set this down here, and let's do our joystick. All right. So of course, let's connect all this up. Green for Ethernet. I'm not liking how this is looking so far. Yeah, let me do this all over again. Yeah, I'm gonna speed this up for y'all. All right, so we got everything here. So we got our Ethernet going here. We got our SDIs coming back here, and pretty straightforward. Now, they already have some type of existing distribution that's going to the TVs everywhere, but they already have coax going there. So what I'm gonna do is this might flip because I don't know which one is which. So they have SDI and HDMI going there. So what I'm gonna do is have a SDI splitter here, and actually let's do the rest of these here before I forget. So we got a ministry monitor. Is going to be for our multi-view. Now they already have a monitor. I might just repurpose that, and that's one less thing we have to buy. So we're going to have our SDI to HDMI converter here. Let's shrink that because that doesn't need to be that big. So one of our outs is going to be here. So that'll be out number 1, and we still have 3 more. So another out will go to our SDI splitter. And I really don't know why these are not lining up today. There we go. And then this is going to go to the televisions throughout the church. So it was a total of 3 in the overflow, pastor's office, conference room. That was 6. And then possibly another 3 in the sanctuary. So let's do one. Anyway, so we're going to have our splitter here, and that's going to go to these TVs, and each one of these TVs, and honestly, it all depends. I could introduce the Thor HDMI converter, but the only issue I have with that is all of these other TVs are in the same room. So I don't know if it's gonna give let me put it this way. When I've used the Thor HDMI to coax modulator, I've never had them go to TVs in the exact same room. And theoretically, the delay should be the same, and it's on the other side, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, we can't do that because the sound. So scratch that. So we got the overflow, pastor's office, conference room, and I think that was it. I think I added one more than I needed. And each one of these is going to need to have a converter on it. So let's go ahead and copy that, so that way I can have the numbers on the counts on these as well too. All right, and then obviously we're going to do that for each one of the TVs in the sanctuary. Now in the sanctuary, we may go with 2 75s and on the front, and then 175 in the back, or we could just do 185 in the front and 175 in the back. It doesn't really matter because we'll use these outputs for that. So we still have 2 more addressable outputs. If we do 2 in the front, we'll just let these daisy chain off each other because they're going to both show the exact same signal. And then maybe number 3 will be a confidence monitor. It could be something completely different if we want. If we have a computer going to it, we could have it natively just go directly to that, something like that. Which reminds me, with the computer, we need to have an HDMI to SDI converter. and they already have a computer that I showed in the video. So I might even, looking at the computer, I might even throw in I was going to put a Decklink mini monitor in that would give us an SDI out, so we don't need a converter. But I don't know what presentation software that they're using, because not all presentation software works directly with those Decklinks. So we'll probably just leave the converter on here as a safer bet that will work no matter what, with what they got. All right, so that's the distribution. And let me take another pause because I don't like how this is working. So let me reformulate this again. All right, so we redid this so that this is going to the extra part of the sanctuary, other part of the church, not sanctuary. Then we have one direct out for, say, the back TV, and then we're daisy chaining the ones in the front off of each other. So we got output number 1, number 2, number 3, and then number 4. So, we can always split this as well, and that's what that daisy chain is, so we should be good with that. Now, that is pretty much it when it comes to the cameras and the video distribution. Now, we do have a unique type of things that need to be changed, and this is gonna change this plan depending on what connection is there. So we might need to run other connections, I think only in the fellowship hall. So all of these have another HDMI in. So say we have another splitter here. This is going to be an HDMI splitter. So we may have to do a fiber optic HDMI there, or just find, I don't think we need to add new cables because they're already there, unless those cables are way too long. But anyway, we need to run some HDMI cables. Let's just say we got to run them. Makes it easy to design this. We're going to run that to these TVs. Because what they wanted to do is have a way that if somebody's doing a presentation in the fellowship hall or playing a movie or something like this, these can be separated from the whole system. So just think HDMI 1 would be the sanctuary, then HDMI 2 will be somebody doing some type of presentation in there. So say we have a laptop in that little alcove, what we'll do is have the splitter there and have a jack, so that say you have a laptop here, it can plug in there, and now HDMI 2 will feed that signal for the TVs if they're doing presentations or whatever. Now, the other thing that we can do inside of this is, say we throw in an ATEM Mini Pro. And we've done this in a couple of other churches as well too, that wants to have separate setups, kind of like Greater Faith. We can have the laptop plugged into the ATEM Mini Pro, and then maybe the output of the ATEM Mini Pro feeds to this, because you're not going to need that much to show if you have one camera and then you have a presentation or something like that. It just gives some control, or we don't do this and the laptop just plugs directly. And I'll most likely possibly throw in another PTZ. Mess my cables up. Let me do this again. Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't need to make this like this. We'll have like a stationary camera, or this can be changed to a PTZ that's permanently mounted. And if they want to do any type of presentations or live stream in here, the ATEM and everything with a stationary camera or a single PTZ that can get the entire room, will handle that, and it's completely separate. So hopefully that works for them. Again, whatever skills that they use in the sanctuary, we want to use the same set of skills that come over here. And then obviously we got to run some internet over here as well too to get this to work. So let me go ahead and just run that just as a mental note for me to remember to do that, which I believe internet is already over there, but it's better for me to know going into it that I need to do that than to be like, oh, I completely forgot. All right. Now, the other thing with this is they have another mixer that has some speakers in this area. So I'm gonna put these down here just to make it easy. So there are 4 speakers here, 2 inside of like the kitchen area and 2 in the fellowship hall overflow area. They said the speakers in the kitchen area are fine, but the amp that they have there for in that that's powering all of this is not powerful enough to handle all of this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace that amp, and we're gonna put that amp in this alcove here. Not even an amp, might be I guess we could get something similar to what they got right now, because it's not like they're gonna need a mixer dedicated for somebody to control that. So we'll put another mixer in this area that has built-in power so that we don't need to have a separate amp. Or we might even go with like a small 5-channel mixer and then put an amp there. You know, we could do either one. And actually, let's do that because they already do have an amp there. We'll probably do like maybe a 3,000 watt amp. That'll be more than enough power for all those speakers. And I put it down here for a reason, AJ. But we will have to do another mixer here. So I think I'm overthinking right now. Yeah, we do need to do a mixer, and we have to do an amp. I completely forgot, and I'll explain the reason why we need to do that. So let's switch these around because there's already an existing cable going here from the sanctuary. So we're going to run that into this new mixer that's in the fellowship hall. That is going to run out to the amp. So this might be a rack or something that we put on the wall. And then this will go to the speakers, the existing cables that are already there. So we should not have to change these at all. So now the existing speakers will have more than enough power to run. Let's get this up out of the way so we can all see where this is going. All right, so there we go. Now, the other fun thing that we need to do in this scenario, just like in this area, say somebody wants to play something in here, we need to have the audio from this. If somebody's plugging in a computer or somebody has a Blu-ray player or a DVD or something, that needs to come all the way down here to this mixer. Let's pull this all the way out here. Now, I'm doing this on the map, but these are going to be sitting right beside each other, so it's not going to be crazy. So now we have, so this is going to be, say, channel 1 coming in from the sanctuary. Then we have a channel 2 that's going to be for, you know, a computer or whatever that's coming in here. We also wanted to have some space for some mics because they said they originally used to have that in the fellowship hall. We're going to do that to where this mixer will give them at least maybe 3 mics, might even do a wireless, and then we don't have to worry about cables as well too there. So maybe a GTD audio or a Phoenix Pro, something like that. That would give us 4 wireless mics in here. So at least we need to have at least a 6 or 8 channel mixer back here for that. And I think that's it, as well as we're gonna, obviously if they live stream, we need to also pull audio out from here into the ATEM so that we can have sound from everything. Did I pull the wrong cable? Yep, I did. We want to be able to have audio come into here as well. So if somebody's talking into the mics, let's be audio out. Let's move this down here. So the mixer will send audio out into here, and then that way if anybody's live streaming, we'll be able to hear that, and it will go into the TVs if need be, but our sound is going to the mixer. So we just replicated the exact same thing here. And that reminds me, if they don't have audio this way, we need to hook up their existing audio from their presentation computer into the mixer in the sanctuary. I didn't see that, but we just want to make sure it's there so that the audio is the same no matter wherever we go. So yeah, I need to work. Y'all have gotten after me, and I hear y'all. It's like the more complex we do some stuff, these things are getting a little bit more and more out of control from a mapping standpoint, but we try to do the best that we can on here. All right, folks. So that's about it. Link is down below to everything we're going to use in this. Now, I'm going to give them some options because I don't know what they want to do with the TVs and the televisions inside the sanctuary. So I'm just going to give them multiple options, and, you know, they pick. And if we get the contract, you know, I'm going to tell you the details of what we do, and I'll take you along with the whole process. And the great thing about it, they said that they don't want to run cables in the attic. So we just got to do conduit to go from those two side cameras, and we just got to figure out how to go from the front all the way to the back. I might still do the attic for that one because at the slope of the roof, it's going to be really difficult to get in there to replace that. But if we do one cable from the front all the way back, and that's the two cables, SDI, which is going to be easy, and Ethernet, that's all we got to do. I think we should be good. And then we're going to probably have to do that anyway. If they go with different TVs, their configuration for the TVs in the front. But anyway, link is going to be down below to everything that I will propose for that. And I think that's about it. Again, Holy Temple Church of God in Christ, thank you for allowing me to come down there and reaching out to me for me to offer some assistance to y'all. And like I said, I'm looking forward to working with y'all. And I hope I'd give these videos to the church too, so they can see what I'm going to be doing anyway, if y'all didn't know. But anyway, I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.